Welcome to another episode of Careers Express, brought to you by the Cyprus Mail, where job seekers and professionals can stay up to date with what matters most in our world of work. Today, we will be focusing on Cypriot women involved in entrepreneurial endeavors, opportunities, and the challenges they're currently facing in Cyprus. Joining me for our discussion is founder and CEO of Apresi, Juliana Saavedra. Juliana is a chemical engineer and educator who, after becoming a mother, shifted to entrepreneurship. Juliana, welcome. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
According to a 2017 European Commission report, Cypriot women were only 40% as likely as men to be starting or running a new business, which was less than in the EU at large. This discrepancy is the starting point for our interview today. Therefore, can you tell us a little about how you come in the picture to address this discrepancy? In other words, where did the idea for your startup come from?
It came out of need. After giving birth, I realized I was lucky to have with us my mother, who is a wonderful, experienced registered nurse and midwife. I mean, what better? However, when she had to go back home to the other side of the world, I could not find any person that could replace all she was doing for us. So I did not know if I needed to find a nurse, a child carer, a psychologist, an errand buddy. So basically, I never looked for help. In the end, it had to be either myself or my husband to stay home. And as usual, mothers feel more attuned and apt to assume that full-time caretaking responsibility. So I quit my job and I stayed home with my child. Then I met many women, many mothers in my same situation who actually had their own mothers in Cyprus. But for one reason or another, they could not get the support they needed, either because of illnesses, grandparents still working. But the main reason was the generation gap they felt they had with their own parents. And these women were stay-at-home mothers. So I wanted to get a better picture and conducted extensive research and realized more or less 80% of full-time working parents already having permanent support also needed ad hoc solutions very often. And this was all pre-COVID, right? I started thinking of ways to solve this, but it wasn't until my son was about 1 year old that I had a surgery. And we actively started looking for someone to help me during the recovery period. And it was very challenging. It was expensive. It was an exhaustive process full of interviews that led nowhere. I wanted someone that I could trust entering my house, that I could communicate with ease, someone that could continue the age-appropriate developmental activities I was already doing with my son at home. And I could not find that person. In the end, I did find 3 women that were lovely and very different each at the same time, but which allowed me the space to actually start putting down my thoughts regarding this need and how to solve this need. By then, I knew mothers can do it all, of course, but it did not have to be so difficult to find that what in other previous generations people were taking for granted. So since experiencing firsthand the lack of village, it has been my mission to understand what the village means for others and to address this modern times issue with an empathic vision and bring helping hands in a modern way.
So, what is the mission of Apresi? What does it offer?
Our vision is to be a global, innovative, standard-setting company leading a new field of on-demand services with high social impact in areas that are insufficiently addressed, such as postpartum assistance, special needs, elder care, and flexible childcare. I would also add mental health due to the recent obvious need. We provide two distinct solutions with multiple benefits, which is Apresi offers a new modern village, a more reliable, safer way for families to find professionals that provide backup quality care and other ad hoc family services. And also, Apresi provides modern job opportunities with flexible schedules and chances to gain experience and make a positive difference in people's lives. We aim to go beyond the typical on-demand service model to also help in reskilling and empowering the entrepreneur community.
Are women becoming entrepreneurs primarily to launch innovative new products and services, or more due to lack of employment?
I am also an innovation consultant and wished I could say they do it because they have the initiative to create an innovative product or service. However, most women do it the other way around. They are unsatisfied with their jobs. They can't find a job that allows them to be present with their families, or a job that is flexible enough to accommodate with doctor's appointments. Many have chronic illnesses. So they end up looking for alternatives. They find ways to create something on their own. And that's how they enter the entrepreneurship landscape.
You mentioned flexibility in working hours for parents. Does this mean that the traditional 9 to 5 working hours are eventually losing ground?
Yes, definitely, yes. Of course, depending on the nature of the work, there are jobs that require physical presence, 9 to 5 working hours. But when possible, flexibility is the way forward. I honestly believe that 9 to 5 p.m., and I talk also by experience, are not the most efficient hours for most people. Many sit at a desk forced to fill in the hours. So I think it is shifting in that direction. It has been proven by leading forward-thinking corporations that employees are more efficient and productive at nights and weekends. And since we are talking about women, mothers of small children, if energy permits, can work at nights or early mornings. Times not usually proper for normal work. This has definitely been my case, and I do see many young people actually demanding this, and the typical work landscape is shifting in that direction.
We also touched bases on lack of employment. What age group do these entrepreneurs belong?
I would say there are many young women, recent graduates without work who are being creative in the digital social space and are becoming entrepreneurs with ease. But also there are many professional women, I would say about 40, that choose entrepreneurship after leaving the workforce for a while to take care of their families and either not being able to return or not finding a job that suits them to do it all, right? So I see more and more of these women entering the entrepreneurial world with products and services, leveraging the digital space.
Do you think there are enough entrepreneurship opportunities for women in Cyprus today?
The entrepreneurship ecosystem is fortifying since last year, I think. I mean, I have seen a big difference. However, in entrepreneurship, there are no job vacancies or such ready opportunities to choose from. As an entrepreneur, you need to have a vision, think outside the box, and create the opportunities yourself. There are lots of societal needs. I mean, there's so many. So thinking of solutions for those, it's a good start for an idea, a way to start thinking of creating a business that actually adds value. Yeah.
So what are the main challenges, particularly Cypriot women face in starting and running a new business?
Well, starting and running a new business is challenging for anyone. especially startups, initiate with a high degree of uncertainty and a high need for a team and financial resources, but most of us start lacking both. So starting up in Cyprus hasn't been easy at all. Not only there is the cultural tendency to resist new ways of doing things, people not being familiarized with this world, discouraging you many times, but also the support given to female entrepreneurs is not apt for the digital space. They have incumbent procedures that do not really allow for agile development. I must say that since I first had the idea, I have seen a great movement towards the right direction. Of course, accelerated by the pandemic, but still not there. Being a woman, a mother, adds other layers of challenges. In one of the services we conducted, we can see that 50% of the 360 participating parents had a regular 9-to-5 full-time on-site job, and the rest varied. They were either stay-at-home parents, working part-time, working some on-site or some from home, different combinations and rearrangements. But only one father out of all of them was in the second 50%, and it was the only one working full-time from home, which means these women, most of them highly educated, have been the ones to accommodate and make different work arrangements due to parenting in Cyprus. In my personal case, I am creating a business that helps women find solutions to juggle better their careers and be present in their families while trying to do exactly that for myself. It takes a great deal of sacrifice, and sleep has been the one to compromise most of the time. There is need of women in policymaking. There is need of angel investment funds for women in Cyprus. And there is, of course, need of appreciation.
Very nice, very interesting. So, do women tend to take fewer risks in entrepreneurship than their male counterparts?
Yes, definitely. This has to do in a great part due to the preconditioning we had as little girls, that feeling of girls being weaker and needing more protection, and sending that message that you have to be more careful than the boys. So I think this is changing, but very slowly, and this has the repercussions in adulthood. These are us now, although I must say that in that range of risk takers, I tend to be on the other side, right? Not, I don't relate to many times, or women don't relate many times with me taking risks.
There has been much talk during recent years about the proven benefits of mentors and sponsors to entrepreneurs. Mentors provide hands-on guidance, while sponsors can act as ambassadors for the entrepreneur's mission. I'd like to ask you, do you work with a mentor and sponsor for Appreci's mission?
We have. I agree. Mentors are important as they can shortcut processes and provide insightful information that would otherwise take time or cost a lot of money. And Appreci does not currently have an official mentor, but in the early stages, it was key for me to have startup mentors who provided me with useful information, with encouragement, and validated the idea. I have also been sponsored by the government of Cyprus through the Female Entrepreneurship Scheme and the Research Promotion Foundation, which allowed me to take the first steps to create the startup. And this year, I have teamed up with an expert childcare entrepreneur who is providing valuable insights from the service provider's perspective. So I do agree mentors are important, and definitely sponsors.
Do you see women entrepreneurs who are in Appreci community acting as mentors and evangelists beyond Cypriot networks?
I see it happening. probably not at the moment, but certainly in a future stage.
Is Après-Ski community attracting entrepreneurs from the younger generations, millennials and Gen Z?
Yes, it's an easy way to be self-employed, to become this type of entrepreneur. Therefore, great for recent graduates in need of experience or who cannot find a job to practice what they have learned. However, Après-Ski has started with a pool of experts in the specific fields who genuinely want to help and create a difference in Cyprus and to raise the standards of these fields.
Do you have also some people reskilling along the way?
Yes. I've mentioned we will provide trainings that will help people that have a degree, but for some reason or another are not using it and would like to change to another field that is in need. So,
right.
Yes.
So before we go, do you have any final thoughts to share?
Yes, we are now pre-registering and would like to invite early years educators, social workers, psychologists, nurses, anyone with a degree to work in Cyprus who wishes to gain new skills through trainings and provide childcare. And not only, of course, to join us, to sign up. And also, if there is a ground for collaborations, we are open to work also with established businesses that are keen to collaborate and find new ways to do things.
Finally, where can people learn more about Après-Ski?
Well, depending on the interest, like I said, if you want to provide the help or if you want to get help or if you just want to find out a possibility of collaboration, they can create an account to read more at www.appreci.com. Appreci is short for appreciate. So that should work with the APPRECI. And they can also follow us on social media, Instagram and Facebook. The accounts are not active, but we will soon start our pre-registration campaign.
Juliana, thank you so much for sharing these valuable insights.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Elizabeth, for your invitation and the timely opportunity to talk about Après-Ski.
Thanks also to you, our Careers Express viewers, for joining us. If you found this video useful, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel and follow us on our social media as well. See you in a new video very soon.